other day.
Well, we're still sitting here at Everett. Sherry's still doing trail magic, and we got another through hiker that started down in Georgia, and we're going to talk to him a little bit. Sherry's giving him some M&Ms, I believe.
Thank you.
Give us your trail name.
My trail name is Beaver Pelt.
How'd you get that name?
My last name is THRU, and there is a French-Canadian trapper term, THRU, spelled the same way, that translates to Beaver Pelt.
Okay, Beaver Pelt.
Yep.
When did you start down in Georgia?
Started March 17th, so been at it just over 3 months now. Just hit 1,500 miles in Massachusetts today, so hopefully I'll get to Katahdin before mid-August.
Is that when you want to be through or need to be through?
Hoping to be done by August 17th. My pace right now looks like around August 8th or 10th, depending on the weather and stuff. So.
Now, do you really need to be through then, or you're just on pace to do that?
On pace to do that, and that's my goal.
Okay.
I wanted to do it in 5 months. So.
Okay. Some people have...
Pushing myself early got me ahead of pace, and now I can kind of relax. Now I can kind of do 15 to 20 mile days instead of the 25 plus that I was doing too.
Are you hiking around someone? You know, with a group or anything?
No. That's why I'm ahead of pace, is I don't have to wait on anyone else or cause anyone else to wait on me. So
I hear you.
It's good to be by myself. There's lots of people I leapfrog that I love seeing.
Sure.
But yep, out here alone.
What pair of shoes are you on?
I currently have Oboe's Sawtooth.
What is this, your second, third pair?
Second pair.
Okay, most people's third here, third or fourth pair, so you're doing pretty good average there. Mm-hmm. Has it been what you thought it would be before you started hiking?
Yes and no. Okay. I knew it was going to be hard, and it has been. It's hard climbing sometimes, like today, getting up to Mount Everett was a big steep climb. Mm-hmm. I'm still nice and sweaty, if you can see that on your camera. But yeah, it's exciting, it's fun every day. Some days are terrible when the weather's bad, like snow in Georgia and downpouring rain in Tennessee, and those days you just kind of want to crawl in a hole and sleep for a day, get away from the weather. But other than that, you know, everything's pretty great.
Do you think that your mind, as far as thinking about the Appalachian Trail, has changed very much since the first 2 weeks that you started versus how you feel about things today?
I still feel like I have the same overall outlook on life,
okay.
But I do appreciate things more. Seeing all the beautiful mountains and waterfalls and everything else just kind of make you, I don't know, just feel happy. It also makes you feel insignificant, not to be negative, but you realize how small you are in such a big world. So, I don't know, it's kind of same answer, yes and no.
Okay.
I mean, same outlook on life, but do feel a bit different.
I asked somebody 3 or 4 days ago, or I made a comment, do you think the human mind is capable of comprehending how hard this is prior to you really hiking it?
Again, yes and no.
Okay.
I did my research, and I realized before coming in that it was going to be hard. But there are days that are just really hard.
Harder than you could imagine. You thought you could imagine it, but you're not. You can't.
Yeah, thinking that you can handle, you know, big climbs. I remember doing Jacob's Ladder in North Carolina, and it killed me. Like, I was so tired by the end of climbing that. I didn't think it would be that bad. It was exhausting. And I'm sure that the White Mountains are going to be as hard as people say they are. Some people say they slow down to a mile per hour in the Whites.
Most of the time, it's most of the time 8 to 10 miles a day.
Yeah.
So it depends on how fast you hike or what time you start.
So yeah, I'm expecting hard things to come. It's been hard. There's been some easy days too. I mean, but it's still great being out here every day.
And did you have to quit a job to come out here?
I intentionally left the job to come out here. So,
okay.
Yeah.
And then will you go back in the same field that you were prior to hiking?
It was customer service, so...
Customer service back?
I might do that. It's carte blanche. I could do anything after this, so we'll see what happens.
You think this gives a person a lot more confidence than they had in life or in themselves after doing this?
I think so. If you can do this. Even if you don't complete the through hike, if an injury or illness like gets you off trail, just completing a portion of it should give you a lot of confidence. I mean, hiking hundreds of miles is a pretty big feat in itself. So.
I'm glad you said that, because, you know, I don't like the term of quitting. I like the term of stopping. That's where I wanted to stop instead of quitting, because nobody, you know, when you, like you just said, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700 miles, that's a task, you know, and not very many people has done that. So, you know, I encourage people maybe that are watching it that didn't go as far as they wanted to go. It's still a great accomplishment of what y'all have done already up to this point. Of course, you're turning around third base, looking toward home at this stage, as one that's come from Georgia. Have you thought about what the emotions are going to be like when you get to Katahdin?
Yeah, I have. I'm going to be I guess overall exhilarated. I'm going to be so happy to have completed everything if I make it all the way there. I don't know. I guess I'll see what happens when I actually get there. I'm not a crier. I don't think I'll cry when I get there or anything like that, but
don't be surprised.
Maybe.
I've heard a lot of them on video that call me back and say, Jimmy.
Maybe I will.
But it doesn't matter. I mean, whatever the emotion is, it's the right one. It's the right one.
Yeah, I know that'll be a great day if I can make it there.
Quick question. Had you ever met a thru hiker personally before you started thru hiking?
No. I know of someone that I went to high school with who thru hiked the PCT, but I had not talked to her since she had done that. I hadn't talked to her about her experience. So I've not really talked to any thru hikers before coming out here.
And do you realize, or have you thought about, most people, and I'm looking to my left because I'm going to interview her in a minute, and I'm going to kind of watch both of y'all's expressions when I ask this. Have you thought about that after you complete the Appalachian Trail, how many people you're going to be the first person that's ever hiked the Appalachian Trail that they've met?
Oh, yeah. Most of the people that I know haven't met anyone who's thru hiked, so that's a big thing. I remember I went to my bank just to tell them, hey, I'm hiking. If you see charges in different states, it's because I'm doing this. And they're like, oh, well, we've never heard of anyone doing that before.
That's
so even people at the bank, not just friends, but even just people that I contacted to inform them of, like, they hadn't heard of it. Well, some of them hadn't even heard of the trail.
I know. So you're going to meet thousands of people before you die, I hope, if you live a decent age. And most everyone you meet after you get off this trail would have never met a person that's hiked the Appalachian Trail. That's a pretty good thing. And you got a lot of time to think out here, I think. Isn't that right? As you're walking?
There's a lot of contemplation, a lot of daydreaming.
And then a lot of falling when you do start to daydream.
I've fallen down on the trail. I slip and trip every day. Usually catch myself, but I have fallen down quite a few times, and usually it's because you're
daydreaming.
You're up. Hey, look at that squirrel.
Yeah.
Or hey, I'm thinking of random thoughts. And, oops, I missed that tree root and I tripped.
Well,
So,
I'll ask just a couple more things. One is, when you started, what was the percentage of time that you were looking at your feet as you was hiking during the day? 1% to 100%?
No, 1% to 100%.
As you're walking down the trail, how much time do you look at your feet?
Oh yeah, looking at the trail.
As you're hiking, would you say you're actually looking at your feet 90% of the time, 80%?
That's a good question, just because today, passing by Sage's Ravine, I was like, man, I look at the trail way more than I look at the pretty sights. And so I was trying to look at the ravine, but I was needing to stop because I don't want to trip and fall.
So that's the question, as you're moving, not stopping, but as you're moving.
I look at the trail down probably at least 50%.
I'd say 80. Think about it as you're walking.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty cautious, so it's probably pretty high. At least 50. It may be up around 80 from what you say. There's times where I glance up looking for blazes.
Oh yeah, I agree there.
Glancing up looking at other things. So yeah, I bet you're probably right, where it's probably around like 70 or 80.
Yeah. Anybody you want to say hello to, or another thought or something you want to share with us before we let you go?
Hi Dad, hi Missy, hi Daniel, hi TJ, hi everyone back in Logan Sports, hi everyone in Chicago, everyone that I know everywhere, Bozeman, Michigan, all those places. Howdy.
Good deal. God bless every step between here and Katahdin, and maybe we'll get a picture of you climbing up on that big old sign.
All right, sounds good.
I've got another hiker here, and her circumstances are a little different, and I'm super excited to talk to her because she's a flip-flopper, what they call a flip-flopper, and give us your name, a trail name, and whatever else you want to share with us.
My trail name is River, and I started in Harpers Ferry, West Virginia on May 1st, and like you said, I'm a flip-flopper, so I'm hiking to Mount Katahdin, and then I'll get back down to Harpers Ferry and hike south to Springer Mountain, Georgia.
How'd you get the trail name?
From a couple of my friends that I've done some section hikes with.
Before you started this?
Before I started, yeah. Back in 2013 I got my
But was there a reason for it? Did you fall in a river? Or?
Well, there was a couple of sequential section hikes a couple years in a row. The first year we had some flash flood warnings up in Maine, and had some really strong currents take my feet out from underneath me in the river, and I was able to catch myself with my trekking poles and lost my Crocs down the river, and I got some help from my friends getting my pack across and doing real dicey water crossing there. And then the following year I hiked with a couple of them, and I actually ended up taking the lead on some of the water crossings. We didn't have to ford water like as many times as we did the year before, but some of the water crossings were a little dicey, so I was the one that was kind of taking the lead on those and schlepping packs across the crossings. So I got my name River that year.
River. Now River, I'm going to just glance at your pack. Do you know about what it weighs at this moment?
Probably about 30 pounds.
Mm-hmm. Are you satisfied with that, or you'd like to get a little lighter?
I'd love to get lighter, believe me, because that's really pushing the 25% of my body weight right there. So
we met two hikers yesterday that are going to become triple crowners when they finish. They didn't know each other. They just met on the AT. Their packs are under 20 pounds. Oh, unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I got to figure out how to do that.
Yeah, it's hard.
I got to
it's hard.
Up some stuff.
Sherry, my wife behind us, when she thru hiked, hers was about 32, average 32 pounds. Now, what made you decide to hike the Appalachian Trail as being a flip-flopper?
Well, first of all, deciding to hike the Appalachian Trail, I took an introduction to lightweight backpacking class in 2011, and I fell in love with the culture around the trail. We did a short section in Virginia, and I left for 5 days to learn how to backpack and came home and said I'm going to hike the Appalachian Trail. So, but decided to be a flip-flopper. Originally I was going to start in Georgia because my dad was going to start with me, and he decided to be a little too cold when I wanted to start. So he's going to wait. He's going to hike with me in the Shenandoahs.
Ooh.
And so once he made that decision, that's when I started thinking about doing a flip-flop. It had already been in my mind, and just doing more research on it, decided that the weather would probably be better. I wouldn't be in the bubble of people. And it sounded to me, just based on other people's reviews of a flip-flop hike, there would be a nice balance of the social aspect along with the solitude, and that's what I was really looking for. So, and I don't have any time constraints, so
okay, that was my next one.
That didn't affect anything, and it took the whole equation of getting to Katahdin at a certain point from Georgia out of the way.
Yeah. Do you anticipate finishing the whole thing in about October or something?
Probably closer to November, I'm thinking.
Are you going to take any time off between once you summit Katahdin before you start back in Harpers Ferry?
Yeah, probably a couple days.
Okay, just a couple of days.
Actually, first week of July, I'll take a couple days off, and then I'll probably take a couple days off up in Maine before I head back to Harpers Ferry.
Do flip-floppers normally do very many drop boxes?
I'm doing about every other resupply with the
Okay,
box.
that's a number. I didn't know if flip-floppers, like the northbounders that start, they usually have 6 or 7 planned out immediately, before they leave, where they want those. Like Fontana is an important, resupply place for a northbounder. Right. And I had not done any research on the flip-floppers, so I didn't know y'all starting at Harpers Ferry, if there's any place that you know of right north of there that you really need a box.
I didn't really. I started to try to plan it out and decided that I wouldn't be able to figure it out, so I did my first resupply out of a Walmart, just to see what it was like. And since then, I've just kind of been looking at which towns have post offices that are easier access to the trail. And I've been kind of planning my resupplies based on access to the trail more than anything else. And it ends up coming about maybe every other resupply.
And how long you been out here since you started?
May 1st.
May 1st.
So, I don't know, 7 weeks.
7 weeks. What do you miss most about home at this moment?
Showers.
Showers. Okay. That's good. That's the kind of answers I'm looking for.
I don't like being sweaty and grungy all the time.
Okay. Taking the shower out of the equation for the next question, if you could take if there could be one luxury item that you could have every time you snapped your fingers around the trail, what do you think it would be?
Oh boy. Man, I'm telling you what, showers are the most important thing.
Yeah, we took that one out of the equation because we know your feelings about showers. I'm trying to get a little deeper, thinking about maybe a bed or a car or a dog or a friend. Or
well, you know, I miss my cats.
Okay, your cats. Now, see, you're a little different because I did about 8 interviews in a row a month or two ago, and I asked the question, what do you miss the most? Before they said husband, mother, father, they said dog. And they didn't have a cat that day. Now you've come here and you've said a cat. Yeah. What kind of cat you got?
I got 4 cats.
Have you ever FaceTime with your cat?
Actually, yeah, I did the other day, but they didn't pay much attention to me.
I laughed because there was somebody out here with a dog, you know, and I was telling them, I said, man, the craziest thing happened the other day. We was filming somebody, and they said, wait, I got to FaceTime my dog. And I said, wow, the dog can FaceTime. And they had somebody, of course, do the camera on the other end, and that dog was just like the person was sitting right next to him. I'd be curious of what your cat would do.
Cats don't pay as close of attention to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What's been the best part about being out here?
Waking up to the birds every morning.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm gonna stop you there. We woke up at 4:30 and they were tweeting at 4:30 yesterday morning from the back of our truck where we sleep. I said, you know, go back to sleep and wake up later. But that is a pleasant sound.
No, you know, and I really enjoyed the people out here.
Yeah.
It's like I said, it's the culture around the trail has really drew me to it, and the people have just been absolutely wonderful, from the hikers to the day hikers, people bringing trail magic and just meeting people along the way on the trail and just chatting with them.
Now, how much trail magic have y'all had starting from Harper's Ferry? Because if you're a through hiker starting in Georgia, you can't get away from it.
Yeah, we haven't had a lot of trail magic, but we have had the fortunate run-ins twice with Leapfrog Cafe.
Yeah, Fresh Ground. He just called me 15 minutes ago before you got here.
Yeah, so we run into Fresh Ground twice,
okay,
which has been really awesome.
Well, he'll be glad.
Into you guys, and actually those 2 times in this one have actually been the best trail magic so far. But we've had some cold water and some in New York, and that was really nice. I think that was Susan and Hikerman that put out their ice cold water. I got to meet them, and they were absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, Fresh Ground's in Gorham, Maine right now, you know, right before Maine right now.
Okay.
Going up to Maine tomorrow. But we talk almost every day.
Nice.
So I'm glad you got to meet him and got to participate in the Fresh Ground Leapfrog Cafe.
Absolutely.
It's been the most amazing years that he's ever had this year. Anything that's been harder than you thought? Maybe the planning of it, or just the logistics of it, or the physical aspect, the mental aspect, or any of that?
I think the physical part of it was harder than I thought it would be.
Okay.
Like the guy that you interviewed before me here, Beaver Pelt, you know, you do all your research, and I knew mentally it was going to be very, very tough, and I expected that. I didn't expect it to be so physically demanding. But that's okay. I mean, I feel like everything that I've done since Harper's Ferry is leading up to being able to summit Katahdin and finish the entire trail, and I just feel like it's all training and making me stronger.
Yeah, and that's how Sherry looked at it. Everything they did south trained them for what's coming ahead, the whites and all of that. So, and you know, it's amazing to me to watch you come in here a few minutes ago, look beat down, and just less than 20 minutes later, you got a smile on your face.
Oh, yeah.
You've got a different voice, the way you're, expressing yourself. So just coming out somewhere in the shade and having something cold to drink, or maybe a little bit of trail magic, can uplift a hiker a tremendous amount.
Absolutely, and it's absolutely amazing. And I know Puddles was here a little while ago, and her and I talked about, the importance of taking breaks during the day, and
Yes.
even like running into town and getting an ice
Right,
cream.
right.
We knew we had a big climb the other day, so we went into town, and for our morning snack, we ate a pint of ice cream and had a coffee. And, you know, it was just what we needed to get us through that morning. And so we're realizing how important, you know, taking the breaks and getting some extra treats in and extra calories in. But it is very uplifting.
And what about a support system back home, like somebody that you can talk to or send stuff to? How important is that to your hike?
Oh, it's really important. I've got a tremendous support system at home, and you know, and along with my family, I've got my parents are in Florida, my brother's out in California, my partner's at home, and then I've got nephews, and you know, the support system has been fantastic from everybody, friends and family alike.
Anything you want to say to anyone out there before we kind of say goodbye for the day?
Well, I want to say hi to my cats, even though they probably won't pay any attention to the YouTube video. But I just want to say hi to all my family and friends at home and everybody that's been supporting me. And I appreciate everything and all the comments that people have been sending me, and text messages and everything on the blog. So it's just been great.
Congratulations on making it this far, and God bless every step between here and the big sign at Katahdin, and then you'll see another little plaque when you get to Springer.
Absolutely. Thank you.
This is her.
Sherry, tell us.
This is the lady that gave me Trail Magic in 2014. I didn't know it was her until she came up just now. But Flinch and I walked through here on a hot afternoon in 2014 and found water. And we were so excited that someone had taken the time to bring all these jugs and these ice down jugs of water up here.
Okay.
And what is your name?
Dottie.
Dottie. So
Dottie?
thank you,
I live in,
Dottie.
I'm only about maybe 3/4 of a mile from here. I live in
Really?
Mount Washington. And I started doing it because I gave a southbound hiker a ride, in September of, I think, 2009. And I said, how's it going? And he said, well, all right, except I haven't had decent water since Upper Goose Pond. And I'm thinking, we haven't had a drought. There's plenty of water. He says, yeah, but when you filter pond water, it might be safe, but it still tastes like pond water. So then I started, and then we had a couple of years where it was really dry.
Good deal.
Thank you.